Hey, we are live. What's going on, you guys? Yes, indeed. It's a little late. This is Dr. Brad. Today we're going to be talking about, excuse me, we're going to be talking about how to succeed in your business or career without it costing your fulfillment. How to succeed in your business or career without it costing your health, without it costing your relationships, without it costing your faith, without it costing overall your fulfillment. So we're going to be breaking that down today. I'm going to wait a couple minutes to hop on. I'm hopping on a little bit late tonight. I had work and then I had meetings after work, but I figured it would still be worth getting on live. And if you want to talk about consistency, because we're going to be talking about consistency when I'm on this live today as well, I told myself that I'm going to be consistent when it comes to providing value on live streams this year for those individuals who are looking to take business, career, health, finances, fitness, relationships to another level here in 2022. And one of the reasons I remain consistent is because I know there are people who need help. There are people who need solutions to these problems. This stuff is important. We want to be able to succeed, but not have it cost us our lives. We want to be able to succeed and provide impact for the world. We want to be able to succeed and achieve great income. We want to have great influence, and we want to do that without it costing us so much. Plus, I'm excited because this is the first time I'm actually going live on LinkedIn. So I don't know if anybody on LinkedIn is actually live right now. We're kind of testing this thing out, but I just got approved to do lives on LinkedIn. So I'm super excited. We're going to be providing some great value for you guys tonight. I don't want to keep you on late because it's already late. So I want to provide some value for you guys. Plus, we're kind of testing this thing out with doing a live stream on LinkedIn. So obviously, if you're not catching it live, you can catch it whenever you can. But before I get started, I want to make sure that you share this information. It's going to be extremely valuable for you as you are navigating this year in terms of how to be consistent. So make sure you share this information. Also, real quick, I want to talk about a challenge that I'm going to be hosting, a challenge that I'm going to be sharing, a challenge that I'm going to be leading professional men through next week, 5 days, to be able to help you be consistent so that you can actually achieve your business and career goals without it coming at the cost of your fitness, your family life, and your faith. So we're going to be talking about that here in a little bit. But before we even do that, I want to provide some value for you today. One of the things that we are challenged with is actually succeeding and achieving at our goals. And for many of us, if anything like me, sometimes I have gone so hard at succeeding in what I do as a physician, and at one point as a home-based business owner, and even now as a physician and a coach, someone who runs a coaching company and speaking. Our goals, our success in what we do for our career or business can oftentimes come at the cost of our fitness, comes at the cost of our family life. It comes at the cost of our faith, and ultimately kind of comes at the cost of our fulfillment. And we're sitting here, despite the fact that we're successful in business, stuck in life. And to me, if you're successful in one area, if you're only successful in one area, if you're achieving your goals in one area, but it's coming at the cost of your relationships, coming at the cost of the things that ultimately matter, coming at the cost of your health, then if success comes at the cost of your life and fulfillment, is it really success? If you're kind of sitting here saying, man, I don't know if it was worth, abandoning, and neglecting and sacrificing all of this for this, then I don't know if success without fulfillment is actually success. If anything, I think it's more in the order of failure. So that gets more into kind of how each of us define success. For me, there's multiple meanings to success. I believe we're all here for a purpose. I believe that we're all, there is a specific purpose by God that we were put on this earth to do. something that we are great at to provide value to serve other people. And I feel like success is, one, discovering that and then doing that thing that you were assigned to do. So in essence, it's agreeing to your assignment and going out and doing it. But I feel another aspect of success is kind of like this holistic approach, meaning succeeding in work, but also winning in life, right? I believe that there is a way to get it all done. I believe there's a way to have it all. And so, but having said that, the challenge that many of us have is that we look at the different things that we're trying to do. And ladies, no offense, but I'm talking to the fellas here. Now this applies to the ladies, but I'm talking to the fellas, is that we will get overwhelmed because we'll look at different aspects of our life. We'll look at our health, we'll look at our finances, we'll look at our work, we'll look at our relationships, and we wear these different hats, right? I wear a hat as a father. I wear the husband hat. I wear the business owner hat. I wear the career hat. I wear the leader hat. There are all these different things. I wear the hat of trying to, maintain my health. There are all these things that we have responsibilities for. And oftentimes we will get overwhelmed trying to do them all, trying to be consistent in each one of those things. And then, it's like trying to juggle all of this stuff, but balls are constantly getting dropped. And what happens is that we, in an attempt to try to be consistent in each one of those things, it'll actually cost us consistency somewhere. And so the fitness doesn't get done, the family doesn't get done, or the business isn't getting done like it should be. And oftentimes it is because, and I used to think about it this way, like I said, we're looking at each of these areas saying, how can, I'm trying to be consistent with each of these things. But let me ask you a question. What if there was a way where instead of trying to focus on being consistent in all of these things, you can focus on being consistent in one thing that would therefore bring consistency or prime the pump of consistency in all the other things? Because you see, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not the smartest dude, right? But I have learned that it's more valuable to try to spend more time to try to figure something out than to just keep struggling trying to do something that's not working. And for me, it wasn't working. Balls are being dropped. Either I wasn't doing my fitness, or the family wasn't getting done, or the business isn't getting done. Balls are being dropped, and I'm constantly being inconsistent in some way. And if anything, the most thing I was consistent at was being inconsistent. And you may feel what I'm talking about. But I started thinking, what if there was a way that I could just focus on being consistent at one thing, and that one thing would therefore bring consistency to everything, right? Because, that just makes things simple for me. Instead of getting overwhelmed at how can I be consistent in each of these things, let me find the one domino. I want you to think about it this way. It's like looking at which domino can I push over that will push over all of the other dominoes, right? So I'll spend a little more time trying to figure out which domino do I need to knock over that will therefore easily knock over the other dominoes. And I've in essence figured it out, because I started practicing this consistency in one area that therefore began to bring consistency in all other areas. And it just makes life simple for me. And so that one thing that you can do and just focus on being consistent in one thing instead of several things is focusing on daily mindset. It's just focusing on daily mindset. The way, again, and you always hear me say this, the way I define mindset is is your belief system, your way of thinking, the way that your belief system, how you see the world, your perspective on your beliefs on yourself and circumstances in the world. And so I started seeing that was the common denominator of everything. How I thought about circumstances or myself in my relationship with my wife, in my relationship with my children, in my business, in my health, how I thought affected every single aspect of life. And so if I could work on that, then it may just have an effect on everything else. Since I'm the common denominator of everything that happens in my life and my way of thinking, maybe that will actually help. And if we're talking about being consistent, I'm just telling you, the consistency is the one word that I have seen that is the major reason why we don't achieve our goals. The major reason why we don't advance is because we lack consistency. We will do something for a certain period of time, and then the reason why our results don't happen is because eventually we fall off. It's not that we're not applying new things, it's that we're just not consistently applying the things that we already do know. So in essence, if we can focus on doing the daily mindset practices, what I have seen is that ends up being the domino that if you focus on will therefore make everything else easier downstream. That is the domino that you have to push over every single day. Instead of trying to focus on, let me be consistent as a husband, let me be consistent as a father, let me be consistent as a business owner, let me be consistent in my workouts. Be consistent in this one area, and you'll start to see that it turns into consistency in all other areas. And so the way I define this practice of mindset is three things. First thing is prayer. And so you have to understand when I talk about prayer or even the next step, I'm not sitting here trying to teach religion. I'm trying to teach results. It just so happens that there is a creator that knows how things work more than I do. And so I yield to that, right? And the interesting thing about prayer is that you realize prayer, prayer is not for God, right? Like prayer don't help God. Prayer's not like, man, if Brad could just pray, my life is gonna be better. Like prayer is not for God, prayer is for us. So the cool thing about prayer is prayer allows me to stop and slow down long enough to examine what I'm thinking. Because most of us don't slow down long enough to know what our problems actually are, to really ask ourselves the question, to really think about what we're thinking about. And so one of the things that prayer does for me is it offers peace. It gives me peace. It is extremely difficult to be in one area of life, to be working out and to be focusing on that when my mind is at such unrest because there's no peace in my business, or there's not peace in my relationships, or there's some circumstance that's not allowing me to have peace. So therefore, I can't focus and concentrate on what I'm doing. So prayer allows me to have the peace that will therefore allow me to be able to focus and concentrate on whatever it is, that thing that I'm doing. It allows me to have enough clarity to get clarity on what's going on in my mind so that I can have the peace whenever I'm working on something else. Second part of mindset is pondering the word. So what I mean by that is studying the Bible. And again, the Bible is not a religious book. The Bible is an instruction manual. The Bible is an instruction manual from the manufacturer of how we can best operate, of how we're most effective. So pondering the word, what that does is it gives me perspective. Because oftentimes things are going to happen. Not oftentimes. I mean, it's guaranteed that there are things that are going to happen that are going to seem as though it is trying to throw you off of your goal. It's a challenge, circumstances and challenges and obstacles. And you can go from looking at those things as stop signs and you just stop and don't move, or you can just simply look at it as like, this is really just a pause. Like, because this is happening in my life don't mean it's bad. Just because this thing hurts or isn't what I want it to be doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Sometimes the fact that something is painful just means it hurts, but it doesn't mean that it's time to stop. But that perspective cannot be had if I'm not pondering the word to see how life works, right? That gives me, the Bible gives me perspective, right? It's not a religious book. It's a book on how to get results. It's a practical book. And so therefore I read it to get perspective on circumstances that happen to me so I can look at it from a different angle. And when I do that, it allows me to continue moving forward instead of pausing. And now results happen slower because I've paused, because I'm only seeing it from my perspective of, oh my gosh, this is bad. This means we have to stop. I have to stop. Clearly, I got to stop and stay comfortable. Third part is personal development. And what I call personal development, it's like positive self-talk. Not just positive, but what it offers is powerful self-talk. You realize the person we listen to the most in our day is ourselves, our own thoughts, the things that come out of our mouth. And so telling yourself the things that you need to hear instead of telling yourself the things that is really not what you need to hear, the negative self-talk that's not going to push you forward, that doesn't help. But the personal development of telling yourself the things that you need to hear. And here's the deal. The person you listen to and really adhere to most is you, whether you realize it or not. It's not other people. Other people can influence what you think, but it's not until you believe that and start telling yourself that what you tell yourself influences you the most. You are your greatest influence. So those three things help to, if you focus on that, can provide a way to, if I could just do this, I will begin to be consistent in multiple areas of life. And I've seen it in my own life, right? It's allowed me to be able to still have a medical practice and succeed in that. Also start a coaching company, also write a book, also spend great time with my kids and my wife, have great relationships, and really get it all done and still maintain my health goals, right? So I hope this helps. More than anything, here's what I want you to know, is that what I'm teaching you right now, I want you to take the opportunity to allow me to help you develop consistency, right? So the definition, the formula really for consistency is not just behavior modification. Most of us is like, I got to get my act right. like I'm not doing what I need to do. I just need to get my act right. I just need to, I just need to do the behavior. I just need to buckle down. And the reality is that doesn't work. How many times have you been like, I'm just going to buckle down and I'm going to do the workout. And then after week 2 or 3, it gets hard and you fall off the wagon. Or you know what? I'm going to start reading the books. I'm just going to read it, and you try to just work harder and it doesn't happen. Eventually fall off the wagon. That's because the formula for consistency is not just behavior modification. It is behavior plus belief. It is behavior plus new belief that matches up with that turns into consistency, that therefore turns into results. So I'm going to be teaching that formula and how to be consistent, how to eliminate the number one cause of why people do not achieve their goals and live their life to the potential that they've always wanted to. And so there's a challenge that I am hosting next week. That challenge is called Winning Habits for Motivated Men. And in that challenge, I'm going to be teaching a 5-step process similar to some of the things that I teach on these lives about how men, professional men, can succeed and achieve their goals, their business and career goals, without it sacrificing their fitness, their family, and their faith, so that they can literally succeed at work and win in life. It is extremely possible. And I'm going to be teaching that 5-step process, one different process every single day for those 5 days, on how you can be consistent, on the formula for consistency, so that you can now conquer the one thing that stops us men from actually fulfilling our greatest potential, and that is inconsistency. All right. So we're going to be breaking that down. And as a result of you taking the challenge, and I love what my coach says, he says, challenge creates change, which therefore creates champions. And so there is not there is not transformation without a challenge. That's just it. There's not achievement without adversity, right? There's not destiny without difficulty. So yes, I'm going to challenge you. And if you're up for the challenge, there will be transformation on the other end of it. I can guarantee it. And if you put into practice the things that I share with you and you don't like it or you don't have results, I'll give you your money back. I mean, it's that simple. So I invite you to that challenge. You can go to that challenge here. Website's there, drbradmd.com/winning-habits. And you can register there. The other thing about that is you can also share it with other people and earn income. You can learn more about it whenever you click that. But it's going to provide a ton of value for you and anybody else who registers for the challenge. And if you know another brother who needs that push, who struggles with consistency, which by the way, it's all of us, then I want you to share with him this exact information so that you're not the only one winning, but you bring in other brothers with you. All right. Hope you guys have a fantastic evening. I hope this worked on. I'm actually excited because this is my first time on LinkedIn Live. So I can't wait to see some of the value that's provided for some of the people who plugged into that. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a blessed evening. And again, I can't wait to see you in the challenge. And by the way, there's two ways to be a part of the challenge. It's general admission and VIP. VIP, you'll spend more time with me. I'll answer more questions. You get a workbook. You get one of my best-selling books. You just get way more value. And I'll be pouring into you directly answering questions as opposed to general admission, which is you kind of get a chance to view the challenge, but you don't get a chance to engage a whole lot. So, all right. I was about to say fellas, but all right, ladies and gentlemen. But fellas, I'll see y'all later. And hopefully see you in the challenge. I'll also be seeing you later this week. Peace.